So I get this a lot. What if you don't have a product or service to start a business around? Well, we're going to go straight into this in the book because I don't necessarily expect you to have that. We're going to get started on it in the free 75 pages and then just go deeper and deeper throughout the book. But basically, it doesn't necessarily matter if you don't have that, because even if you do have something you've been trying to sell, you're here because it's not necessarily selling that great. So maybe you don't have a product or service, maybe somebody else watching this does. Either way, it's possible that we can get the people that do have the products and services to sell what they've got already. There's a great chance. But they also might have to switch to something new. So it's not necessarily that either side is in a better position. Just because you don't have a product or service doesn't mean that you're necessarily at a disadvantage. So we're going to dive really deep into how you find that, how you do research. There's even certain price ranges of products, if you're selling a product rather than a service, that are more conducive to making a lot of money if you don't have a huge budget. It's hard to sell very cheap things and make a lot of money if you don't have a lot of cash to pour into huge scale, for instance. We're going to talk through all of that. We're going to talk through how you go out into the world and kind of do your research and find something that might click with you, that you might be able to sell, that might have a great market and fit all of the categories, as well as services. A lot of services aren't scalable, but we'll talk about the ones that are, the ones that might form a great business for you, and we're going to go through all of that. So don't worry about it. You do not have to have a product or service already, and if you do, we can hopefully get you selling that, and if we can't, then we can help you find something that fits those categories, because it's the truth that you could sell just about anything, but you cannot scale just about anything at all, and you cannot sell everything profitably, at least via any given distribution channel. So some things you could sell profitably in a store aisle, but you can't sell profitably online. So we're going to go through all of that. We're going to talk about modeling other businesses, how you can look out and see what businesses are succeeding, what businesses are growing, and kind of see what they're doing and come up with ideas based on that. We're going to talk about doing research. We're going to talk about looking for problems. We're going to talk about how people really like to be entertained, and you might want to pay attention to products that entertain them, and how to go through that and kind of narrow it down to something that you want to sell, that's going to be scalable, that's going to be profitable, and go through all of that. So it's really kind of one of the major points of the book is to focus on that, and that should not be a worry of yours at all going into this. So go ahead and download the first 75 free pages of the book, because that's going to get you started on that process right there in those first free 75 pages, and then we're just going to keep drilling down into that, and we're going to make sure that that is not something at all that hangs you up, and you don't have to be an expert either, because we're going to show you how to potentially study a field, a product type or whatever, and do something that maybe somebody else has an expertise in, but you don't at the moment. We're going to show you how to get there and how you could explore that anyway without necessarily having to have any sort of certain degree or certain industry experience. So go ahead and get started on the first 75 pages, and we're going to dive right into that. And as always, ask me any questions that you have. I love answering questions.